I still set the table for two every night. Fork on the left, knife on the right, the way she taught me. My mother sits across from me now, her hands folded in her lap, and she smiles that gentle smile she's perfected over the years. The one that says she's proud of me. The one that says she doesn't need to know that the daughter she raised died in those woods, and the thing sitting across from her now is just a well-trained ghost. I smile back. Between us, there's roasted chicken, green beans, a bottle of wine neither of us will finish. The kitchen smells like rosemary and garlic, and outside the window the sun is setting the way it always does, turning everything orange and soft. Safe. She asks me about work. I tell her about the promotion I'm up for. She asks if I'm seeing anyone. I tell her maybe, nothing serious. She reaches across the table and squeezes my hand, and her skin is paper-thin now, spotted with age, and I squeeze back. You've always been so strong, she says. I nod. I take a sip of wine. The glass is cool against my lips. What I don't tell her is that I still can't sleep with the windows open, that I check the locks on my doors 3 times before bed, that sometimes when the wind picks up at night, I hear things that aren't there, footsteps in leaves, breathing that isn't mine. What I don't tell her is that 16 years ago, when I was 17, I went into the woods behind our house and I didn't come back the same. She thinks she knows what happened. She knows some of it, the sanitized version. The version the police wrote down in their reports, the version the doctors nodded at, the version that let everyone sleep at night. But there are things I never told her, things I couldn't tell her, things that would break her heart or make her think I'd broken in some fundamental way. I've kept these things locked inside me for so long they've become part of my bones, part of the architecture that holds me up. Tonight, though. Tonight I need to let them out, not to her, never to her, but to you, whoever you are, listening to this. Maybe you'll understand, maybe you won't, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I just need to say it out loud before it eats me alive. It was late August, the tail end of summer before my senior year. The kind of heat that makes the air shimmer and stick to your skin like a second layer. I remember the smell of cut grass from Mr. Henderson's lawn 2 doors down. I remember the sound of cicadas, that electric buzzing that gets inside your head and stays there. My mother was at work. She worked doubles at the hospital back then, 12-hour shifts that left her hollow-eyed and shuffling. We needed the money. My father had left 3 years earlier, and he'd taken more than just himself when he went. I should have been packing for college, sorting through clothes, making lists of things I'd need for the dorm. Instead, I was lying on my bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling that restless itch under my skin that comes when you're 17 and stuck and desperate for something to happen. The house was too quiet, too hot. The fan in my window pushed warm air around but didn't cool anything. I got up. I pulled on shorts and a tank top, sneakers. I grabbed my phone and my keys and I walked out the back door without thinking about where I was going. The woods started at the edge of our property. Just a thin line of trees at first, then deeper, thicker, stretching back into state forest land that went on for miles. I'd played there as a kid, built forts, climbed trees. But I hadn't gone in much lately. Hadn't had a reason to. That day, though, that day I needed to move. Needed to be somewhere that wasn't the house, wasn't my room, wasn't the small, suffocating space of my life. The woods felt different than I remembered. Darker, older. The trees pressed in close, their leaves forming a canopy that blocked out most of the sun. It was cooler under there, but it wasn't a comfortable cool. It was damp. It smelled like earth and rot and something else. Something almost sweet. I walked without direction. Just followed the paths I half remembered from childhood. The ground was soft under my feet. Moss and fallen leaves and exposed roots that tried to trip me. I could still hear the cicadas, fainter now, and birds, and the rustle of small animals in the underbrush. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out. A text from my friend Jenna asking if I wanted to go to the lake. I texted back that I was busy. I wasn't busy. I just didn't want to be around people. I kept walking. That's when I saw it. At first, I thought it was just a deer path, the kind animals make when they travel the same route over and over. But it was too deliberate, too cleared. Someone had cut back the brush here, recently. I could see the pale wood where branches had been sawed through. I stopped, listened. Nothing but the usual sounds, wind in the leaves, birds calling to each other. My own breathing. I should have turned around, should have gone back to the house, made a sandwich. Called Jenna back, done anything else. But you know how it is when you're 17, when you're bored and restless and looking for something to break the monotony. You make stupid choices. You follow strange paths, you think you're invincible. I stepped onto the trail. The trees grew denser as I followed it. The light dimmed. The air got heavier. I had to duck under low-hanging branches, push aside thorny bushes that caught on my bare legs and left thin red scratches. I walked for maybe 20 minutes, maybe longer. I lost track of time. The trail twisted and turned, and I lost my sense of direction too. I thought I was still heading roughly northeast, but I couldn't be sure. Then the trail opened up. I came out into a clearing I'd never seen before. It was roughly circular, maybe 30 feet across. The ground was bare dirt, packed hard like nothing grew there, like nothing wanted to grow there. In the center of the clearing was a structure. Not a building, not exactly, more like a frame. Wooden posts driven into the ground, 8 of them arranged in a circle. Between them, someone had strung rope. Thick rope, knotted at intervals, forming a kind of web. And hanging from the rope were things. Objects, a doll with no eyes, a rusted birdcage, strips of fabric faded and weathered, bones. Small bones, maybe from birds or squirrels, maybe. Wind chimes made from tin cans and bottle caps that clinked softly in the breeze. I stood at the edge of the clearing and I stared. My heart was beating fast, too fast, my mouth was dry. This wasn't right. This wasn't normal. This was someone's project, someone's art, someone's ritual, someone's warning. I should have left, should have run, but I didn't. I stepped into the clearing. The dirt was cool under my shoes, surprisingly cool given how warm the day was. I walked toward the center, toward the circle of posts. The objects hanging from the ropes swayed gently. The wind chimes sang their small discordant song. Up close, I could see more details. The doll's dress had tiny flowers embroidered on it, hand-stitched. The birdcage had a little door that hung open. The bones were bleached white by sun and weather, and there were other things that made my stomach turn, photographs. Old Polaroids, their colors faded. Faces I didn't recognize. A woman with dark hair, a man with a beard, children, always children. Their eyes had been scratched out, every single one. I backed away from the photographs. My breath was coming quick and shallow now. The clearing suddenly felt smaller. The trees seemed to lean in. I needed to leave. Now, but before I could turn, before I could run, I heard it. A sound behind me. A footstep, slow, deliberate. On the packed dirt, I froze. "You shouldn't be here," a voice said. It was a man's voice. Low, rough, like gravel scraping against stone. I turned around. He wasn't what I expected. That's the thing that scared me most. He looked ordinary, normal, like someone you'd pass in the grocery store and not think twice about. Mid-50s, maybe. Graying hair pulled back in a ponytail. Faded flannel shirt with the sleeves rolled up. Jeans worn soft at the knees. Work boots caked with dried mud. His face was weathered, lined, the kind of tan you get from spending every day outside. Not vacation tan, life tan. He held a walking stick in one hand, carved wood. Smooth from use, he didn't look angry, didn't look threatening. He looked tired. That made it worse somehow. The fact that he looked so normal, so human, my throat was tight, I couldn't speak. Couldn't move, my legs had gone numb. He tilted his head slightly, studying me. His eyes were pale, blue or gray, hard to tell in the dim light filtering through the trees. "I asked you a question," he said, not unkind, just matter of fact. "Do you know where you are?" I managed to shake my head. My voice came out small, broken. "No, didn't think so." He shifted his weight, leaning on the walking stick. "Most people who find this place don't mean to. I was just walking, I found a trail. The trail finds you," he said, "not the other way around." My heart was hammering against my ribs. I could feel sweat trickling down my back despite the cool air. "I should go, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was private property," or, "It's not private." He looked past me at the circle of posts, at the things hanging there. "It's just not for everyone." I followed his gaze. The doll with no eyes stared at nothing. The photographs twisted slowly on their strings. "What is this place?" I heard myself ask. He was quiet for a long moment. Long enough that I thought he might not answer. Then he said, "A reminder." "Of what?" "Things people want to forget." The wind picked up. The chimes sang louder. I wrapped my arms around myself even though I wasn't cold. "The photographs," I said, "the people in them, who are they?" "Gone." He said it simply, like it explained everything, like it explained nothing. "Gone where? Does it matter?" He looked at me again, really looked at me. Like he could see something I couldn't. "You're shaking." I couldn't stop. You should sit down, he said. I should leave. You should sit down first. He gestured with the walking stick toward a fallen log at the edge of the clearing. Before you fall down, he was right, my legs were trembling. My vision was starting to blur at the edges. Panic, adrenaline, fear, all of it catching up at once, I moved to the log. Slowly, keeping him in my peripheral vision, sat down. The bark was rough under my palms. He didn't come closer, just stood there, watching. How old are you? He asked. 17, he nodded, like he'd expected that answer. You live nearby. It wasn't a question, but I answered anyway. The blue house, end of Maple Street. I know the one, he paused. Your mother works nights sometimes. Ice flooded my veins. Cold and sharp, he knew where I lived, knew about my mother, had he been watching us. How long had he been watching? I see her walking to her car, he said, reading my face. Early mornings when I'm coming back from the woods, she looks tired. She is tired. You take care of her? I try. That's good. He shifted the walking stick to his other hand. Not everyone does take care of their people. The photographs spun lazily behind him. Children with no eyes, a woman with dark hair, a bearded man. Did you take those pictures? I asked. Some of them. Why scratch out the eyes? So they can't see anymore. He said it like it was obvious. So they can't watch what happens next. My stomach lurched. What happens next? Different things. For different people. I wanted to stand up, wanted to run, but my legs still felt weak and I didn't trust them to carry me. Didn't trust that I could outrun him if it came to that. He looked fit, strong, like someone who knew these woods better than I ever could. The bones, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Are they from animals? He smiled, just a little, barely there. You're a smart girl. What do you think? I think I want to go home. Soon. He moved then, just a few steps, not toward me, toward the circle of posts. He reached up and touched the doll's dress, let his fingers trail over the embroidered flowers. My daughter made this long time ago. She was about your age. The way he said it was past tense. Where is she now? I asked. Here, he gestured at the clearing, the trees, the ground beneath our feet. Everywhere, nowhere. Does it matter? Yes. Why? Because she was a person, because she mattered. He turned to look at me, something shifted in his expression, softened. You really believe that? Of course I do. Not everyone does. Believe that people matter. The air felt thicker, harder to breathe, like the trees were pressing in, like the clearing was shrinking. My daughter believed it too, he said quietly. Right up until the end, she thought if she was good enough, kind enough. If she just tried hard enough, people would see her worth. He let go of the doll, it swung back and forth. She was wrong, he said. I didn't know what to say to that, didn't know if there was anything to say. The things people do to each other, he continued. The ways they hurt, the ways they break what's precious and don't even notice they're doing it. He shook his head. This place remembers. Even when everyone else forgets. I don't understand. You will. He looked at me again, direct, unflinching. Someday you'll understand exactly what I mean, and when you do. When someone breaks something precious in you and walks away like it didn't matter, you'll remember this place. You'll remember that someone saw, someone kept track. The photographs rustled in the breeze, the scratched-out eyes, the missing faces. I need to go home, I said, firmer this time. My mother will worry. Will she? Yes. When does she get back from her shift? Soon. Liar. He said it gently, almost affectionately. She doesn't get home until midnight. It's barely 4 o'clock. How did he know that? How long had he been watching? I stood up. My legs shook, but they held. I'm leaving. Okay? That was it, just okay. He didn't move to stop me, didn't raise his voice. Didn't do anything. That scared me more than if he'd grabbed me, more than if he'd yelled. I started backing toward the trail, keeping my eyes on him. The path shifts, he called after me. Doesn't always lead where you think it will. I'll figure it out. Maybe. He turned back to the circle of posts, to his daughter's doll, to the photographs of people who were gone, or maybe the woods will keep you a while. See if you're worth remembering. I turned and ran. The trail was exactly where I'd left it, the same cleared path, the same cut branches. I ran until my lungs burned, until my legs screamed, until the trees thinned and I could see sunlight ahead. I burst out of the woods into my backyard. The grass was still green. Mr. Henderson was still mowing his lawn. The cicadas still sang their electric song. Everything looked the same. Everything felt different. I went inside, locked the door. Checked it twice, 3 times. My phone said it was 4:15. I'd been gone less than an hour. It felt like days. I stood in the kitchen, hands shaking, breathing hard, trying to make sense of what had just happened. A man in the woods, a clearing. Strange objects hanging from ropes. Photographs with scratched-out eyes. His daughter's dress. His daughter who was here and everywhere and nowhere. His tired eyes when he looked at me. The way he knew my mother's schedule. I should call someone. The police. Tell them there was a man in the woods. A strange man who built shrines and talked about people being gone. But what would I say? That he scared me? He hadn't threatened me, hadn't touched me, had barely even raised his voice. That he knew things about my family? He'd explained that. He saw my mother walking to her car, that the place felt wrong? That wasn't evidence. That was just feeling. I stood there for a long time, trying to decide. In the end, I decided to wait. See if anything else happened, see if I saw him again. I told myself I was being rational. Smart, not overreacting. But really, I think I was just afraid of what would happen if I told, afraid no one would believe me, afraid they would believe me and it would make it all real in a way I wasn't ready for. So I kept quiet. I made myself a sandwich I couldn't eat. I took a shower. I tried to read. And I waited for my mother to come home. My mother came home at 12:07. I know because I'd been watching the clock, watching the seconds tick by, each one slower than the last. I heard her car in the driveway, the engine cutting off, the door opening and closing, her keys jingling as she walked up the path. I was sitting on the couch, pretending to watch TV, some late-night show I wasn't processing, just colors and noise. The front door opened. "Hey, sweetie," she called, her voice rough with exhaustion. "You still up?" "Couldn't sleep," I said, kept my eyes on the TV. Didn't trust myself to look at her. She came into the living room. I could smell the hospital on her. That particular combination of antiseptic and cafeteria coffee and something underneath. Something sick and human. "Long shift," she said, dropped her purse on the chair, kicked off her shoes. "Lost 2 patients today, both in their 30s. One was a car accident, the other." She trailed off, shook her head. "Doesn't matter. I'm sorry. Part of the job." She moved to the couch, sat down next to me, close enough that I could feel the heat coming off her body. The warmth of someone who'd been on her feet for 12 hours. "What are you watching?" "I don't know," she laughed, soft and tired, reached over and smoothed my hair back from my face. Her hand was gentle, familiar. "You okay?" "You seem tense." "Just tired, you and me both." She let her hand drop, leaned back against the cushions. "Did you do anything today?" "Yes, I went into the woods. I found a shrine. I met a man who knew where we lived, who knew your schedule, who had a daughter once, who builds monuments to people who are gone." "Not really," I said, "just hung around the house." She nodded, her eyes were already starting to close. "That's good. You should rest before school starts. Once you're at college, you won't have time for lazy days." "Yeah." We sat there in silence, the TV flickered. Outside, a car drove past, someone's dog barked. Normal sounds, normal night. Except my hands wouldn't stop shaking. Except my heart was beating too fast. Except I kept seeing those photographs spinning in the wind. Those scratched-out eyes. "I'm going to take a shower," my mother said finally. Pushed herself up from the couch with a groan. "Maybe make some tea after. You want some?" "No, thanks." "Okay." She bent down, kissed the top of my head. "Don't stay up too late." "I won't." She walked down the hallway. I heard the bathroom door close. The water start running. I sat there, staring at the TV, not seeing it. My whole body was rigid, tight. Like if I relaxed even a little bit, I'd fall apart completely. I needed to move. Do something, anything to distract myself from the thoughts circling in my head. I got up, went to the kitchen, opened the fridge even though I wasn't hungry, stared at the contents like they might have answers. Milk, eggs, leftover pasta. An apple going soft, nothing helpful. I closed the fridge, turned around, and that's when I saw it on the kitchen table, next to the salt and pepper shakers, a piece of string, thin, brown, frayed at both ends, knotted at intervals. Just like the rope in the clearing, my breath caught in my throat. No. I walked closer, slowly, like the string might bite me. It was maybe 6 inches long. The knots were evenly spaced, 3 of them tied the same way. The same exact way as the rope strung between the posts. I looked around the kitchen. At the counters, the floor, the windows, everything looked normal. Everything was in its place, except this. This string that hadn't been here before. I'd been in the kitchen at 6. Made that sandwich I couldn't eat. The table had been clear except for the shakers and a stack of mail. I'd been in here at 8, gotten water, the table was still clear. I'd been in here at 10, at 11. The string hadn't been there, now it was. My hands were shaking again, worse than before. Maybe it had been there all along, maybe I just hadn't noticed. Maybe my mother had left it there this morning. Maybe it was from a package. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe I reached out, touched it with one finger, it was slightly damp, like it had been outside recently, like it had been in the woods. The shower was still running, my mother singing something off-key, a song from when I was little. One she used to sing me to sleep with. I picked up the string. It felt wrong in my hand, too real, too solid, there was something else. Under where the string had been. A smudge on the table, dark, brownish, I leaned closer. Dirt, fresh dirt. The same kind of packed dirt from the clearing. My vision swam, the kitchen tilted. He'd been here in my house, while I was sitting on the couch, while my mother was at work. He'd come inside and left this, left his mark, left his message. The woods will keep you a while, see if you're worth remembering. I grabbed a paper towel, wiped up the dirt, threw it in the trash, buried it under other garbage so my mother wouldn't see. The string, I couldn't throw that away. Couldn't risk her finding it in the trash and asking questions. I shoved it in my pocket. The water shut off. My mother's singing stopped. I stood there, in the middle of the kitchen, trying to breathe normally, trying to think he knew where we lived. I'd known that, but knowing and understanding are different things. He'd been inside while we slept. While we were gone, while we thought we were safe, the locks didn't matter, the doors didn't matter. He could come and go as he pleased. My mother appeared in the doorway, wrapped in her bathrobe, hair wet, smelling like shampoo and soap. "I thought you weren't hungry," she said, smiling. I realized I was standing in front of the open pantry. I didn't remember opening it. "Changed my mind," I managed. "Well, there's not much, I need to go shopping tomorrow." She moved past me, reached for the kettle. "You sure you don't want tea?" "I'm sure." She filled the kettle, put it on the stove, turned on the burner. I watched the flame catch, blue and orange. "Mom," I heard myself say. What could I tell her? That there was a man in the woods, that he'd built a shrine to his dead daughter, that he'd been in our house? She'd call the police. They'd search. They'd find the clearing maybe. Find the photographs and the bones and the doll with no eyes. And then what? He hadn't broken any laws that I knew of. Being strange wasn't illegal. Building shrines on public land probably wasn't either. And if they talked to him, if they made him angry, what would he do then? What would he do to us? "Nothing," I said. "Never mind." "You sure you look pale?" "I'm fine, just tired." The kettle started to whistle. She poured the water. Dunked a tea bag. The smell of chamomile filled the kitchen. "Go to bed," she said gently. "You need sleep. You look like you're about to fall over." "Okay." I left her there, went to my room, closed the door, locked it. I pulled the string from my pocket, laid it on my desk, 3 knots, evenly spaced. I sat on my bed, stared at it. The windows were closed, locked. I'd checked them earlier, checked them twice. But that didn't matter, he'd gotten in somehow. Left his message. The trail finds you, not the other way around. I understood now what he meant. It wasn't about the physical path through the woods, it was about something else, something bigger. Some people, some places, they get inside you. They follow you home, you think you've left them behind, you think you've escaped. But they're patient, they wait, they watch, they leave little reminders. String on your kitchen table, dirt where it shouldn't be, proof that nowhere is safe. That the walls you build don't matter, that the locks you turn are just theater. I lay down, pulled the covers up, kept my eyes on the window. Outside, the trees swayed in the wind. Their shadows moved across the glass. I watched those shadows. Watched them shift and dance. Watched for the one that looked like a man with a walking stick, and tired eyes, and a daughter who was everywhere and nowhere. I didn't sleep that night. I haven't slept right since. I couldn't just sit there, couldn't just wait for him to come back. To leave more strings, more dirt, more reminders that he owned the space between the trees and the space inside my head. 3 a.m., my mother was asleep. I could hear her snoring softly through the wall. The house was dark. Quiet. I got up, put on jeans, a sweatshirt, my sneakers. I grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen drawer, my phone. I thought about taking a knife, but my hands were shaking too badly. I'd probably just hurt myself. The back door opened without a sound. I stepped into the yard. The night was cooler than the day had been. The grass was wet with dew. Above me, stars I couldn't name, a moon half hidden by clouds. The woods were darker than I remembered. The flashlight beam cut through the blackness, but barely, just enough to see a few feet ahead. I found the trail, or it found me, same thing. My breathing was too loud, too fast. Every snap of a twig under my feet sounded like a gunshot. I kept walking. The trees pressed close, their branches reaching. The path twisted, turned. I lost track of how long I'd been walking. 10 minutes. 20, time felt wrong here. Elastic. Then I saw the clearing ahead, the gap in the trees, moonlight falling on packed dirt. I turned off the flashlight, stood there, listening. The wind chimes sang their broken song. The photographs rustled. Everything else was silent. I stepped into the clearing. I wondered if you'd come back. His voice came from behind me, always behind me. I spun around. He was sitting on the log where I'd sat earlier, the walking stick across his knees. He looked different in the moonlight, younger somehow, or maybe older, hard to tell. "You left something in my house," I said, proud that my voice didn't shake. "Did I? The string." "Oh, that," he smiled. "Thought you might need a reminder." "I don't want your reminders. What do you want?" "I want you to leave us alone." "Us?" He tilted his head. "I haven't done anything to your mother. You know where we live, you've been watching us. You've been inside. I've been lots of places." He stood up, slow, easy, like we had all the time in the world. "Doesn't mean anything." "It means something to me." "Does it?" He walked toward the circle of posts, toward the doll and the photographs and the bones. "Tell me, what do you think I want from you?" "I don't know." "Exactly." He reached up, touched one of the photographs. "You don't know, you're just afraid, and fear makes you think things. See patterns that aren't there. My daughter used to do that, see threats everywhere, couldn't trust anyone. Maybe she had good reason. Maybe," he turned to look at me, "or maybe she was just broken, maybe something happened to her. Something that made her see the world wrong, made her think everyone was dangerous, everyone was out to hurt her." The way he said it, so casual, so matter of fact, like he was the one who broke her. "What happened to your daughter?" I asked. "She left. You said she was here everywhere." "She is, in a way." He moved closer, just a step. "When someone breaks, really breaks, pieces of them scatter, get into the ground, the trees, the air, they don't really go away, they just disperse." Another step, I backed up, my heel hit one of the posts. "Don't run," he said quietly. "There's nowhere to go, the trail only leads here, you know that now." "That's not true." "Isn't it? You've been trying to leave all day. In your head, but you keep coming back, keep thinking about this place, about me, about what it all means." He was close enough now that I could see his eyes, still that pale color, like water. "That's how it works, the woods get inside you. And once they're in, they don't leave." My back was against the post. The rope pressed into my spine. Above me something swayed, the doll maybe, or the bones. "I'm not like your daughter," I said. "No, you're stronger." "I can see that." He lifted the walking stick, held it between us, not threatening, just there. "But strength doesn't matter as much as you think. Everyone breaks eventually. The question is what breaks them, what they become after." He raised the stick higher, and something in me shifted. Snapped, I didn't think, just moved. Grabbed the rope above my head and pulled. Hard, the whole structure swayed, posts groaned, objects rained down. The doll hit him in the face, he stumbled back. Cursing, I ran, not toward the trail, toward the trees on the other side, into underbrush, into thorns and branches and darkness. Behind me, I heard him, crashing through the brush, breathing hard. Shouting something I couldn't make out. I ran until my lungs burned, until my legs gave out, until I fell and couldn't get back up. I lay there in the leaves and dirt, listening. Nothing, no footsteps, no breathing, no voice, just wind. Just the forest settling around me. I stayed there until dawn, until light filtered through the canopy, until birds started singing. Then I got up, found my way out, followed the sound of cars on a distant road until I hit pavement. I was 3 miles from home, covered in scratches, shaking but alive. The sanitized version went like this. I went for a walk in the woods, got lost, stayed out all night trying to find my way back, scared but unharmed. My mother believed it. Or wanted to believe it. The police asked questions. I described the clearing, the objects hanging from ropes. They searched but never found it, said the woods were big, easy to get turned around. Maybe I'd imagined where it was. They found no evidence of anyone living back there. No man with a walking stick. No shrine. Eventually they stopped looking. Eventually everyone forgot about it, everyone but me. Now I'm sitting across from my mother at our dinner table. 16 years later, the wine bottle between us, the roasted chicken going cold. She's telling me about her book club, about a trip she wants to take to the coast, about normal things, safe things, and I'm nodding, smiling, playing my part. The daughter who got lost but found her way back, the daughter who's strong, who survived, who moved on. But the string is still in my desk drawer at my apartment. I kept it, I don't know why. Sometimes I take it out, look at the knots, remember. The woods got inside me that summer, just like he said they would. I check my locks 3 times every night. I don't go hiking. I don't trust spaces where trees grow too thick, where paths appear that weren't there before. I've never told anyone the whole truth. Not the police, not my therapist, not the men I've dated who wondered why I flinch sometimes, why I can't sleep with the windows open. Not my mother, especially not my mother, because some secrets are too heavy to share. Some truths would break the people we love. And maybe keeping them is its own kind of strength. Maybe survival isn't just about getting out. It's about carrying what happened. Alone, in the dark, where no one else can see. Maybe that makes me strong, or maybe it makes me broken. Maybe it's both. My mother reaches across the table again, squeezes my hand. "I'm so glad you're here," she says. "I'm so glad you're safe." I squeeze back. "Me too," I say, and I mean it, even with the weight, even with the secrets. Even with the nights I lie awake and wonder if he's still out there. Building new shrines, watching new houses, waiting for new girls to find the trail. I'm here, I'm alive, that has to be enough. I've carried this alone for 16 years. These words, this truth, this weight I couldn't give to anyone else. But maybe you understand, maybe you've got woods of your own, paths that found you when you weren't looking, secrets that built themselves into your bones, if you do. If you're carrying something heavy, something you've never told anyone, you're not alone in that. There are more of us than you think. People who survived things, who keep surviving them every single day. The community is called Raise to Survive. And if you need a place to put your secrets down, even just for a minute, we're here.